Am I the a-hole for pointing out to my ex that this is what she wanted? My ex and I divorced 8 years ago, amicably. She is the one who proposed that we not make the kids switch back and forth for the time being. We'd each spend 2 weeks at the house and switch on and off. She said we'd do this until one of us moved on and got remarried, as obviously that wouldn't be a realistic setup. I agreed, and we'd put it in writing, including that this custody arrangement would only last until one of us got married. We also split rent on an apartment that the other lived in during their off time. All bills have been split evenly between us. Per the agreement, when this ended, we'd sell the house and split the profits, as it's in both our names. Our kids were 6 and 8 when this began. They're now 14 and 16. I have been with my now fiancé for 3 years. We started living together at her place 2 years ago. My ex also started living with her boyfriend, so we gave up the apartment and would still switch off living in the house during our custody time. While our partners didn't live at the main house full-time, they have gotten to know our kids, and everyone gets along. The kids love my fiancé and are excited for the wedding. My ex was happy for us until I spoke to her about putting the house on the market. Suddenly, she got weirded out and said she didn't want to change the arrangement. It was easier for her, and it's nice to have a break from her boyfriend every 2 weeks. I said I get that, but my fiancé and I are getting a new place that's both of ours. The kids are okay with this and are fine with having to switch houses at this point. I offered my ex the option to buy me out, but she can't afford to do that. She kept saying this isn't fair and that she didn't expect I'd ever move on. I asked what if she married her boyfriend. She said she has no plans of remarrying and thought I wouldn't want to either. I just said, well, I am. We've started the process of selling the house, and she keeps trying to get the kids against the idea, but the kids honestly don't care. They've loved house hunting with me and my fiancé. My eldest wants to help my fiancé decorate, as they're close. The kids are also excited to spend more time with my ex's boyfriend, since they'll be living with him and their mom. He's a very nice guy, and they like him. Recently, we got an offer on the house, and my ex was very emotional, which I understood. This was a home we purchased together and raised our children in. I'm emotional to let it go as well, but when we were discussing it, she told me this is all my fault, that she had to sell her children's childhood home. I told her that she's the one who came up with this idea 8 years ago, and she's the one who put in the clause that we'd get rid of the house when one of us remarried. It's not my fault that she had some unspoken, unrealistic expectation. This set her off even more, and she started sobbing, telling me I'm a jerk for throwing this back in her face. So, am I the a-hole for pointing this out? We've amicably co-parented for 8 years, and I'd hate to see that end over something like this. Edit. To those saying she's still in love with you, I honestly doubt it. I think it's more that she has commitment issues, thus why we didn't work out. She didn't cheat, but found marriage suffocating. I don't think there's anything wrong with the guy either. I know he wants to get married. She evidently doesn't. I suspect she's starting to itch for that again. But I've told her to just move out of his place if she doesn't want to live with him and move on. Now for the top comments. Obviously not the a-hole. She set the rules, just doesn't like that they are being enforced now. Her problem is not yours to fix. It sounds like she just doesn't want to live with her boyfriend and his mom. She's not living with her boyfriend's mom, just her boyfriend. But I agree the problem is that she is probably being asked more questions about committing to her boyfriend, which I don't think she wants to do. She likes the existing situation. It gives her everything she wants and she knows she's never likely to be able to get it again. She gets to move out from her boyfriend every 2 weeks. For someone with a commitment issue who finds living with someone else suffocating, it's perfect. The problem is, she's not likely to be able to find a similar situation. But the situation was either going to end now or when the kids aged out. Once the kids were in college or whatever, the house would be sold. There's no way you were going to leave the house there for her to move in and out of every 2 weeks without the kids. So at most, this advanced by a few years, the date by when she would have to fish or cut bait. There's nothing to feel bad about here. She's in the same situation as millions of other adults now. They dealt with it or not. She will or not. Not the a-hole. I don't know why so many people are saying she's probably still hung up on you. In my humble opinion, it seems like she doesn't want to give up the home you guys raised your children in, which is understandable. But it's wild for her to take it out on you, given that it was her idea and that she never expressed a desire to discuss changing this arrangement until it was too late, after she had 8 years to bring it up. For the sake of your co-parenting relationship, maybe talk to her about how you understand that this is hard for her. Sometimes a little understanding is all people need. But you simply can't share responsibility for that home with her anymore. Also, maybe for Christmas you can help your kids get her a gift that memorializes the house, like a custom snow globe, a photo album, a painting, or something made out of an architectural detail from the home. I still have a decoratively carved plank of wood that was left over from remodeling on my grandparents' house. That is very sentimental to me, even though my grandma sold the house over 15 years ago. It hangs on my wall. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not willing to take care of my husband with a flu after he refused any care towards me and said I exaggerated my cough when I was sick? I, 35 female, just got over a very, very bad flu. I had body aches, a bronchitis cough, sneezing, fever, etc. The whole time I was sick. My husband, 36 male, had little to no sympathy for me. Not even a single tea was made for me. He still asked me what I was making for dinner and always had this dirty look on his face because the chores weren't getting done. Aside from the housework, I am also the breadwinner of the house with my full-time job. He works 2 or 3 days a week, only for about 3 hours each day, just some context to keep in mind. Anyway, he went on to tell me he felt I was exaggerating my cough when I was sick. He had never heard what bronchitis sounded like, and he accused me of making it more dramatic. He would also get annoyed when I sneezed and told me that maybe trying not to cough would help me. Fast forward a week later to today, he woke up with a sore throat. It hasn't progressed yet, but now he has body aches too. I feel really bad because this flu strain sucks, but at the same time, I don't feel as bad as I probably should. I'm more or less letting him be, instead of offering ways to keep him comfortable while he's sick. I feel extremely resentful after how he treated me when I was sick, and I feel bad about that too. But am I the a-hole? Why are you still married to this man-child? No real job, ignores you when you are ill. What does he bring to the table? Not a damn thing if chores aren't being done. The sex is never good enough to put up with someone this useless. Not the a-hole. But you're both the breadwinner and doing the chores and doing the cooking? And he's a jerk to you about all of that while you're sick? You're the a-hole to yourself for being with this man. Wake up and stop accepting this as a partnership, because it not only hurts you, but it tells society that men like this are acceptable. He clearly doesn't care about you. Lol, get on his butt for yard work and stuff that needs doing or whatever, and call him an over-exaggerating baby, and see how he likes it. If the thought of doing the above makes you feel afraid, please take some time and think about that. Not the a-hole. Even if he didn't actively take care of you, demanding you continue on as if you were fine is a whole different animal, and shows laziness on his part that he couldn't even figure out meals for himself and your family. I mean, I'd actively leave personally. Next story. Am I the a-hole for wanting to divorce my husband even if he's changed? I, 26 female, and my husband, 26 male, have been married for 6 years and together for 8. We have 2 children. One is 4, and the other will be 2 in February. He is my first kiss, boyfriend, everything. In the early years of our relationship, he cheated on me multiple times. I didn't want to stay, but I felt pressured to due to the living circumstances I was in. I can elaborate in the comments if you're curious. The cheating was back in 2019. I didn't find out about the worst parts until a few months after we were already married. I know I should have left, but I was young and dumb, and at the time, I didn't trust the only other person I could go to because of the circumstances I mentioned above. As far as I know, he has not cheated on me since. I set some boundaries for him to follow, and he did. Things like no phone in the bathroom, no social media, etc., until I felt comfortable again. He respected those boundaries for years. Earlier this year, we talked, and I told him I now feel comfortable enough for him to have social media, and I don't care about the phone in the bathroom anymore. The issue is, we still fight, not physically, but we get into heated arguments over everything. He can be very controlling. He practically shames me over the clothes I wear. He says it's because mothers shouldn't dress like that. I can promise everyone reading this that I do not dress inappropriately at all. If I could show you some of the clothes he thinks are inappropriate, it would be laughable. For me, it's just suffocating. We don't agree on a lot of big topics, and he doesn't respect my body. I don't like being over-sexualized, yet he constantly gropes me or stares at my breasts. It's not that I'm totally against it. I'd just rather have more romantic forms of intimacy, like hugging, calling me beautiful, etc. And he does that sometimes, but not as much as he sexualizes me. He makes me feel more like a blow-up doll than a person. I've gotten to the point where I can't tell if he genuinely wants me to sit with him on the couch to watch a movie, or if he's just saying that to get his way with me. I've tried and tried to get him to understand what I'm saying, but he doesn't truly listen. He says he'll do better, then goes right back to the same things. He also gets upset, pouts, or tries to guilt-trip me if I want to skip a night of sex. To be completely honest, I regret staying with him. There are tons of people getting engaged on my feed, and it's heartbreaking to me. Because back when we were engaged, he made multiple Snapchat accounts trying to contact his ex. She sent me screenshots, and when I asked him, he told me she was lying. Because of my predicament, I chose to let it go. A few months later, when we were married and I found out other things he had done, I asked him why he was so desperate to get a hold of her. His response was that he felt he had made a mistake breaking up with her and getting with me, but he swears he doesn't feel that way now. Now when I see people getting engaged, I'm envious because I want someone to want me, and I want to not question it. I want the love I've never had. But is it too late? Am I the a-hole if I were to divorce him now? Now that we have children, and considering he did respect my boundaries for years? He also isn't cheating anymore, and as for the conflicts and arguments we have, with him being overly controlling, etc., he tells me he's sorry, and that he'll change. I just don't know if I want to keep trying to make it work anymore. But he tells me I would be selfish to divorce him, especially because we have kids, and he makes promises that things will get better, which makes me wonder, what if I divorce him and we could have ended up fixing things if I had stayed? My feelings are telling me to divorce, but I don't know if that's a mistake. I saw a video recently that said if someone pisses in your water, adding sugar doesn't remove the piss. No matter how much sugar your husband is adding, you've still got a glass of piss water, not the a-hole. Yes, I know exactly what video you're talking about. Honestly, OP, you should have left as soon as he cheated the first time while dating. But then you forgave and stayed, okay. But when he told you he made a mistake breaking up with the ex and getting with you, could he have made it any clearer? But he swears he doesn't feel that way now. He's using the kids as a manipulation tactic. And also, why would you actually have children with this man? How do you know he's not cheating now? What exactly did he do before you got married that qualified as cheating? Just trying to get a hold of the ex, or actually physically cheating on you with multiple women? I had no one to go to, no family, no money. I lived with him and was unsure how to leave. If I could go back now, I would definitely have left. And because he stopped cheating and promised me change, I was willing to hope for the future. I thought maybe we could be happy. I know now that's not a possibility. Even if he's not cheating, we just don't go well together. Whatever your relationship is with your husband is what your children will emulate. What would you tell or want your children to do if they were you? You know you need to divorce. Don't stay because of the sunk cost fallacy. When you get on the wrong train, get off and turn back as soon as you can. The longer you stay on, the more expensive the return journey. I have a goal to try to divorce by at least February. I am a stay-at-home mom, so I have to make a plan first. He is totally against me leaving him, so there's no talking to him about this. I have tried, but he makes me feel guilty about it. I start to question if I'm doing this for the right reasons. At the end of the day, I just want to be happy, and I don't want my kids to have unhappy parents. This makes sense to me, but this relationship is so hot and cold that it can distort my thoughts that I know to be true. One minute I know for a fact I want to divorce, the next he's being kind, and suddenly I'm not so sure. That's why this is all so confusing and complicated to me. I just need to hear that I'm making the right decision, as I feel so lost right now. This is a huge step I'm about to take. I'm about to flip our world upside down, and I feel guilty. Last story. Am I the a-hole for wanting to leave early to the airport for our first international flight? Me, 31 female, and my husband, 32 male, are going on our first trip to Japan for our honeymoon and first-year wedding anniversary. Our flight is in less than 2 days, and we are in disagreement about how early we should arrive at the airport. Our flight departs from LAX at 11:30 a.m., and I want to be at the airport by 7:30 a.m., 4 hours before departure. He wants to be at the airport by 9:30 a.m., 2 hours before departure. For context, he has never flown internationally and is afraid of flying, so his anxiety is very high right now. He claims he doesn't want to end up waiting at the airport extra time before the flight because the anticipation will make his anxiety worse. I, on the other hand, am anxious that if we don't allow ourselves extra time for things to go wrong and for possible traffic delays, we live 1.5 hours away from LAX. We could end up missing our flight. For further context, I have planned this entire trip myself with very little input from him, by his choice, because he has been anxious just thinking about flying for 12 hours on a plane. I researched, purchased the tickets, booked hotels and excursions, prepared the itinerary, and arranged for our ride to and from the airport. I am adamant about arriving 4 hours early due to the stormy weather forecast, government shutdown chaos, possible traffic delays as we approach the Los Angeles area, and also to allow time to eat breakfast and relax before the flight. He says I am selfish, an a-hole, and that I don't care about his anxiety for possibly making him wait at the airport for a longer time before the flight. Am I the a-hole? No a-holes here. It's recommended you get to the airport about 3 hours before an international flight. I'd compromise and do that instead. Edit. I missed that OP is flying out in the next couple of days, so the 4 hours makes more sense in context. Since TSA is still recovering from the government shutdown, my judgment is still no a-holes here, but 4 hours makes more sense. Not with LAX. With LAX, you go in as early as you can go, because even that way, you'll end up running to make it, and your flight will leave late on schedule. I'm not a frequent flyer, but I flew in and out of LAX earlier this year. Worst TSA screening process. Still had to take off shoes, take out liquids, even had to take food out of my bag. Took forever, and that was before the shutdown. Can you stay at an airport hotel the night before your flight so you are very close to the airport? Don't have to worry about traffic and he can chill in the calm room a bit later in the morning? I live in San Diego County. This is what my friends do. Many of the hotels offer discounts for parking and will shuttle you to the airport. It takes so much stress off.